there's a very complex interaction between the psyche and emotions and physical pain. And we're beginning to demonstrate that suffering and things that you couldn't quite put your finger on and physical pain are very related in a very sort of complex manner, but they are related. So if we understand and accept that, then we are able to treat the physical pain in a much more effective way.
Obviously, if you've still got tissue damage after an operation or trauma, you're going to have some pain. But the pain won't only be due to the tissue damage.
For example, a post-operative surgical procedure who's had the diagnosis of cancer made. And the surgeon comes and tells them, I took out all the tumor and the margins are negative and you're cured. That patient will say, I'm in overwhelming pain and I'm not suffering.
And this is one of the things that one of my forebears, Henry Beecher, found. He went around during the Second World War. He was in charge of providing care for injured soldiers. And instead of injecting them with morphine, he actually asked them, do you have any pain? And to his great surprise, he found that a lot of them didn't have any pain. And that really puzzled him. And he made a very telling statement, and that was, it's not just the injury per se by itself, but also the meaning of the injury. Now, that's a very, very important statement. And when you think about what could have been the meaning of the injury for those soldiers, well, they've been injured, but they've done it in a valorous way. They're probably going to be decorated. They're going to be removed from the battlefront. So the meaning of that injury is all good.
Prior to the diagnosis, if you wind 100 people up that I was in the line, and for those that didn't know me, and if they were to ask, who's the healthiest guy in the lineup, a day before I was diagnosed, I would have been probably in the top 5.
Severe pain can be very detrimental to someone's emotional state. It can cause them to be sad, it can cause them to not want to interact with their life in normal ways. It can even cause clinical depression. And once they become clinically depressed, it makes their physical pain harder to treat.
Depression prior to my diagnosis was a condition that I really thought was only for people that had no control of their life, were not optimistic, allowed themselves to be victims, chronic patient mentality, belonged in a padded room. I mean, that was really my perception of somebody that was depressed.
Donna is actually a good example of what we call total pain, where we believe that people have a physiologic or something's wrong with their body that's causing the pain. But in addition to that, he also has other aspects that we believe comprise this concept of total pain. So things going on psychologically for him.
Though pain was there and was manageable, it was really the depression that needed the most attention initially.
I think a psychologist in palliative care is essential, Patients are anxious, are depressed, are demoralized.
And I would argue that no matter how skilled a single physician is, it actually takes a team to optimally treat patients with this complex total pain.
Once I was diagnosed, I obviously had a whole different appreciation for the struggle that depression brings.
Emotional issues are very prevalent in people with pain, especially chronic pain. And taking a multidisciplinary approach and a multidisciplinary interventional approach, both pharmacologically and non-pharmacologically, is really important for the best treatment of these patients.